What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Have another subscriber requested course for you guys today. As you can tell, spring has finally sprung here in New England, so we've got actually this whole week is supposed to be a good stretch of weather here in the high 60s to anywhere to the mid 70s. Today's about 75 and sunny, so hoping to be able to get out here and play a good amount of rounds back here if I can sneak out at some point during the day. Almost every single day this week, as long as my back and my body holds up. But another subscriber requested course. Hopefully I can really start hammering out some of these videos for the courses that you guys requested. I know it's been a little bit of a delay between when you initially left the comment and when you're going to see this posted. Still going to take me time to edit and everything, but the goal is to basically play subscriber requested courses time after time over here until I'm completely out of them. So that's the goal. Today, as you saw in the title, we're playing Reidy Creek Golf Course in Escondido, California. This comes courtesy of Los Toy. He or she has requested a few different courses, so we're giving this a go. I did just take a look at the scorecard real quick, and it looks like it's a par 3 course. Not sure if it's not only 9 or 18 holes, but it showed 18 on the scorecard. We'll see what happens after 9, and should be relatively quick. So I'll just probably go through and play the whole 18 and then play another course or two after that. But for the rundown real quick, and then I'll just do a couple of my notes while I'm thinking about it before I get started here. Garmin Approach R10, Country Club Elite mat, Callaway Superfast balls, my DIY stance mat that somehow is still holding up from Amazon, some 10x7 nets, and Home Tee Hero that you're seeing on screen. Real quick before we get started, new mic today hanging out of the side of my hat. This clip is oriented a little bit different, so it's kind of hanging down. Hopefully that's not too distracting as I'm playing, but should be higher quality mics, so we're going to give it a go. Hopefully everything picks up and records correctly. I guess I'll only know after this round, but we're going to give it a go. Let me know what you think about the mic. As for the setup out here, basically a few weeks ago I had a bunch of friends and family over, and I bought another like 10 bags of mulch just to raise everything up, give everything some new color out here. When I did that, one thing I did over here, I'm sure some of it's getting cut off, but basically where I'm standing, I had one lefty friend. It's been the only lefty that's ever come here. He's only come ever once, but I figured if I'm gonna invite someone over, you gotta have at least an area for them to be able to hit. So I extended the bricks and the mulch that way. Again, I'm sure some of it's being cut off, but basically I just made a batter's box, maybe 4x3 box, something like that, just so you can stand over here and a lefty can hit this way. But basically, so I did that. I raised all the mulch up, and I figured while I was doing everything, I would remeasure everything and recalibrate everything. So when I was doing that, I completely leveled. I meant to do it last year, but I ended up getting good enough numbers with all of the altitude and distance or weather settings, adjusting those, so I didn't really feel the need. But what I did when I put all this new mulch down is I completely leveled this mat. I completely leveled it this way, I completely leveled it this way, I completely leveled the hitting strip, both sideways and vertically. Also from here is, at least at the time, I'm sure mulch gets moved around a little bit, but this was completely level. And the big thing is I leveled from here all the way back to the R10. There's some grass in the bricks in between, but what I did is I put a big board that I have laying in the woods, and I got a level on top of it, and I completely leveled from here to here. So in doing all that, raising up the actual mulch level and leveling everything, I've been able to decrease the altitude. So now I'm playing with 2,500 feet of altitude. I'm not sure if I mentioned this in another video, but I figured I'd just do it here quick. This will be a par 3 course, so it'll be quick anyways, but I was able to decrease the altitude to 2,500 feet, still sticking with 65% humidity and 85 degrees, but I've been seeing really good numbers. I also remeasured the R10, and one of the big things I wanted to note was the R10 now is perfectly from right here is the middle of the mat. From there to where the R10 is, it's exactly 7 feet. Before, like I mentioned, it was close. It was actually closer to 8 feet before, and I was getting good enough numbers with the higher altitude, so I didn't really feel the need. But if you bear with me when I explain this, basically from what I understand and the way I think about it is, before the R10 was actually closer to 8 feet from where the ball is to where the R10 is, and because of that, it the R10 thought I had it still set to 7 feet in the settings. The R10 thought it was at 7 feet, so it was reading everything probably a few miles an hour slower, hence why I had to bring that altitude anywhere up from 4,500 feet to, for a while, we were playing at 5,300 feet. Because of that, now that the R10 actually is at 7 feet and it's set to 7 feet within the app, I think I'm getting, from what I've seen out here so far, I'm getting much better and more accurate. It's only I think it's a couple mile an hour quicker, but faster ball speeds and faster club speeds, which in my opinion are closer to what they actually are. So if you watch some of the videos in the past when I pulled up, for example, tee shots with the ball speed and club speeds, I think those were probably anywhere from maybe 2 to 5 miles an hour slower from what they read to what they actually were. So basically this should be better numbers now, and I'll just go in quick before we get started and just show you all those settings that I have, just so you can see them in there. But all that to say, been getting better numbers, lower altitudes, and one of the big things that I did, I don't know why I didn't think to do it last season, but basically what I did is I have it was mainly my 30-yard shot with my 56 degree, my choke down 30-yard shot, which we'll probably be seeing here throughout this round. I would hit basically 10 shots into the net, which I would have the reading to be the total distance right around 25-30 yards, depending on how I hit it. And then I would actually turn sideways like this, and I have just about 30 yards to the tree line that way, and I would hit one, and then I would walk it off, pace it off, and I was seeing exactly what I was seeing into the net. So obviously I can't do that much past 30 yards. I did some 60 degrees and it was the same thing, so I'm just assuming as long as that's good, all my other clubs seem to be in line as well. So I think we're set up to be the most accurate back here that we've been possibly ever. So I do anticipate maybe having to add more mulch and re-leveling everything after maybe another month or two, or possibly having to increase the altitude to compensate for that. If you guys are out there and have a similar setup, I would recommend, if you have the time and you're willing to do it, to try to perfectly level everything. If you're in a garage, it's probably already level anyways, but you will be able to decrease altitude and not have to mess with the settings as much. You'll get better numbers overall, just out of the box, kind of like baseline numbers. If you're not willing to do that, which I don't blame you, I'm not sure if I would go through it again. Maybe I would, but basically you can either spend the time and frustration possibly, and also the satisfaction of getting really good numbers, level everything and feel happy about it, or you can just leave your setup how it is and just solely go with the altitude adjustments like I did before. I may end up going back to that, but basically you can either perfect your setup or you can just leave your setup somewhat imperfect, and then you can compensate for that in the numbers. So I think that's what I have to say. Hopefully the start of a new season here, we get off to a good start. Still using the new clubs, still kind of working with a newer swing, getting a straighter ball flight, if not a little bit of a baby draw, so that should be interesting. And we're going to go ahead and get started. Going to make sure, I'll show you the settings here in a second. Going to grab some Gatorade, make sure everything's still going. Hopefully nothing overheats. We finally got some warmer weather out here. But as for the settings here, so basically like I was saying, go in here. I always had the distance set to 7 feet. I experimented bringing it back to 8 feet. Basically it's the same thing if you actually bring it back to 8 feet or 7. They recommend 7, same thing with TrackMan, so I'm going to leave it at that, and that's what the actual R10 is measured at. Into the weather settings now, like I mentioned, 25 feet of altitude, 65% humidity, 85 degrees temperature, still doing no wind. Maybe towards the end of the season, middle of the season, if I'm progressing a good amount, maybe if I want an extra little bit challenge, start playing with more of the wind. But for now, I like to just try to hit the numbers as best as I can, and then once I get out on course, I can try to compensate for some of the wind. But here we go. Hopefully that wasn't too long. Hopefully you guys, if you didn't care about that, you could have just skipped through it. But first hole. So again, playing Reidy Creek Golf Course. This is a par 3 by the looks of it. There was 2 tee box options, playing the furthest back one, as you can see, the other one in front. Again, Escondido, hopefully I'm saying that right, California, courtesy of Lost Hoy. Shout out to you. Hopefully you can tell me exactly how to pronounce that, your username, in the comments. But first hole, we got a par 3. They're all going to be par 3s. I'll probably slip up and keep saying that, but 142 yards. So I'm going to go choke down 9 iron, and we'll see what happens here. I'm actually going to move that just a tad. Struck it decent, might be headed just a little bit left. Hopefully it's not too much. Been seeing anywhere 155 to about 165, usually about 155, 160 out of this newer 9-iron. 143, we made the green, decent shot to start it off. Only hit a couple 52 degrees just to make sure everything was aligned before, and then a couple 48 degrees, but we'll take the par to start it. Second hole, we've got 134 down 7, so we're looking at gonna have to start brushing up on my mental math skills now, playing back here again, but so that's 127. I'm gonna go pitching wedge. Pitching wedge so far, for whatever reason, this has been my least favorite club out of the new set. For whatever reason, I don't know if it's just because of the way it's bent or something, but I've been seeing about 130, 135 out of it, so I'm just gonna take a smooth swing with this, see what happens. Kind of popped it up, caught it a little high in the face, but we didn't need the full 135. Hopefully that's not long. All right, caught the front side. Third hole. Like I mentioned, this may only be a 9-hole course. If it has us go around again, I'll probably just play it again because it's going to be quick enough. But 166 up 10, so we're looking at 176. I'm going to go 8-iron. Been seeing about 170, 175 out of this 8-iron. See what happens here. I caught it a little heavy. I know it was a bunch of water, but hopefully that rolls up. Go, big bounce. Nope. That's gonna be a +3. Gonna be a bogey there. One other thing, I didn't sink the mat down as far. One, so it's still level, but two, I feel like having it a little bit more elevated up and off the ground, not exactly floating, but just not as far sunk down. It allows me to, it doesn't beat up my joints quite as much. This mat, the Country Club Elite mat, is really good with that. It's pretty forgiving in the first place, but that little extra of give with the mat not as far sunken down into the ground, I feel like it when I hit it, it gives it a little more room for vibration and a little more wiggle room, if that makes sense. So we're 1 over through 3, fourth hole, 132, down 1, 131, going pitching wedge again. Honestly, I was kind of surprised. I have 3 courses that I wrote down to play out here. I was kind of surprised. I was kind of glad also I checked that this was a par 3. I was expecting to come out here and whack driver, but I guess I'll use this as a little bit of a warm-up round, and then right after this, I'll play a full regulation 18. Same thing as the other one, kind of popped it up to the left. It might be a tad short. Short left. Do we even catch the green? It's gonna be another +3. That's what I've been seeing with this pitching wedge. Oh, we got it on for a par. I've been popping it up, playing it back in my stance too. So for whatever reason, I don't know, I'm not getting along with that club right now. Fifth hole, 125, pitching wedge again, I guess. Should be straighter. Struck a little bit better. Still kind of high though, but that should be pretty close, I think. Yeah, a tad long. We got the 130 out of that one, 131. Could have used that last time. All right, 6th hole, 114, down 3. So we're looking at 111. I'm gonna go 48 degree. If you guys saw my what's in the bag video with my new irons, I have the matching. I got the Sim 2 driver first, and then I went and upgraded my older irons to the Sim 2 irons. But compared to my older Rocket, or what were they? Yeah, Rocket blades from 2013. All the lofts on these Sim 2 irons are about a club stronger, so I had to kind of supplement in between the pitching wedge of my 52 with a 48 degree. So experimenting with this year. And seeing about, when it's really warm and I'm swinging, I'm fully warmed up, about 120, 125 when I hit it full. So I'm going to choke down on this a little bit. Still not completely warmed up. I'm anticipating getting more into a sweat as we get going here, but choking down about 1 inch on it. Started right. We'll see if it comes back. It might just kind of be a little bit of a flare out to the right. Yep, good number though. Seventh hole, another par 3. 113, down 112. Need the same shot again. Going 48. Should be pretty similar. That one's a little bit straighter. Guess I got a little more on that too. There's my 119. I'm still swinging pretty light. We'll see. I suspect as I play more out here and as the weather gets warmer and I continue my speed training, I'll probably gain an extra 5 to 10 yards on all these clubs going forward once we get into like the prime middle of the season here. So we'll have to keep doing some more experimentation with how far some of these clubs are going. But I've played a few times. I've played I think 5 times on course so far, and all my clubs I'm seeing almost identical numbers from there to here depending on how I hit it. Alright, 173 down 172, 8 iron. That was even heavier than the last one. Did we get lucky with a mulligan? I think we did. Alright, give that one another try. That one's headed right. Not the best. What was that, 3 swings now with the 8 iron? That was still about 5 yards short, even almost 10 from what I would expect, but at least that was hit a little better. Realistically, that was probably a little more right in real life, but 9th hole, 130 down 129, just going pitch and wedge. I'm gonna take a tad off it. No, that was not a great swing. That was out to the right again like that 8 iron. Popped up and to the right. That might not even be on the green. Yikes. Well, let's see if we can chip this in. Alright, 17 yards. Up 1, 18. We'll add another 2, so we need 19. Gonna go 60 degree. Should be decent. That's probably about 20. It might be a little long left. Yeah. We'll see. Again, let me know if you can tell a difference. I'll know when I edit this video, but with the new mic, hopefully everything's picking up good. But the nice thing about these mics compared to my old really cheap, kind of crappy ones. These are nicer quality for one. Two, the battery life, they're supposed to last. It's a 2-pack, so if I'm playing on course, I can start using the mics on course, maybe mic someone else up. But also back here, there's 2 of them, so each of them are supposed to last 12 hours a piece, so I can play probably 3 rounds with them. I'll probably just switch, put this back into the charging case and just switch every single round to make sure I always have battery, but should be pretty good. I know a few rounds, only maybe 3 or so that I can remember, the mic turned off because the battery died on my old mic, so hopefully that doesn't happen again, but who knows, maybe the sound quality is not good on these either. So 10th hole, yeah, this looks different, so I guess it's a full 18. I think the first one only had, what, 1 tee box in front, so this looks different than the first hole, so we'll keep it going anyways. But 164 up 1, 165. We'll go smooth 8. Could probably muscle up the 9 and get it there, but kind of want to just see if I can hit this 8 a little bit better. Still out to the right, kind of thin, but it might be a tad long right. Or short right. Should have just taken a full swing. Alright, 16 yards, we're in the rough, so we'll add another 2. 18, going 60 degree. Should be decent. Caught it a little bit thin, but that'll at least be on the green, if not inner circle. +1, we'll take the par. I do like these new irons. They're club longer too, which are nice. They're definitely more forgiving, hotter ball speeds, but the one thing I do kind of miss, which this will come with time, but my other irons, I was playing with them for so long, about 5 years. I had all my in-between kind of choke down shots all dialed in because I just played with them for so much. So these, I'm still trying to get used to how far they actually go and how well I hit them, just taking a regular full smooth swing, let alone trying to choke down like a half an inch, 2 inches, and doing kind of those like in-between yardages, but hopefully that will come. 11th hole, 165 up 2, so 167. Going back to the 8 iron again. Struck a little bit better. Gonna be headed a little bit left, but still caught the mat first. At least it wasn't a pop-up. All right, we'll take that. Still would like to see that with a good, clean, crisp contact, closer to 170, 175, but we'll take the bird. 12th hole, moving along. 156, should be a nice smooth 9 iron. With playing more of a, basically what I've been trying to do is play as much as I can, play a draw, but as you slicers know out there, it is kind of daunting. Not as bad here because you don't have the repercussions, but it's kind of daunting on course. Being a slicer for the past 5 years or whatever since I've been playing, aiming right and trusting the ball to come back. So I've been working on that. Ideally, I'll end up playing a little baby draw, but for now, try to just neutralize my club face and club path as best as possible and play basically a straight ball. And if I slightly push one or slightly kind of hook one, it still should be relatively close. But with that, I've been experimenting too with some of the ball positioning. Struck that pretty good. That's going to be left side of the green. It might be long too. That could be. All right. Pretty close to pin high actually. Left though, but that's kind of what I was talking about. That one actually drew a little bit, or it could have just been a pull. I don't know, but. 13th hole, 139 up one, so we're at 140. I'll go choke down 9. A little bit thin, straight though. Get down, get down. All right, caught the back. Getting warmed up. Had some decent swings so far, some not so great ones with those 8 irons, but I want to, I'm itching to bomb the driver a little bit here, but 14th hole, 187, down 3, so we're at 184. Gonna go smooth 7. So the 7 iron seems to be a rocket. This may be my favorite iron out of the set. I've been seeing anywhere, usually I play this to about 190. If I'm really swinging it well, I can get close to 200. If I don't hit it great, maybe 180, 185. So I need to take a little bit off of this, and then we'll see what happens. But I'm gonna choke down maybe a half an inch. Oh, that was horrendous. That was low, off the heel, left. That's gonna have to get lucky to get even close. Wow. There's the forgiveness I was talking about out of these irons. That was probably a little generous on the R10's part as well, but definitely didn't deserve a par there, but we'll take it. 15th. All right, 98 yards. This should be, I've been working on this number. About choke down halfway, 48 degree. This should be right around 100 yards if I can try to execute what I'm doing, or what I'm thinking of doing here. Started a little right. Way long, huh? Well, there's that warmer weather. Gotta choke down a little bit more on that, I guess. 10 yards long. We got a chip now, 13 yards down one, so we got 12. And then we'll add another 1-2 yards from the rough, so 13, 14 yards we'll call it. Just going 60 degree. Should be decent. Might be a little bit long. That was probably closer to, ooh, did that go in? Stand corrected. It's always those ones that I don't feel great about. Yeah, it did go in. All right, we'll take that hole out. It's always those ones that I think, oh, maybe I didn't hit it great, or maybe a little long, a little bit short, a little bit thin, and they end up going in somehow, versus the ones that I feel like I hit good, and they just end up in the inner circle. But all right, 16th hole, we're 1 under. 134 up 1, 135. Just going full pitching wedge. Again, I struggle to flight this thing down. Just no matter what I try to do, it just pops up and kind of goes off the club, runs up the club face, it feels like. But, and even that one, maybe I just got to get used to playing this thing to 125, 130 instead of trying to get 135 out of it. I don't know. That one I felt like I kind of closed it down too to try to get a little more out of it, but 14 yards up 1, we're in the fairway, so 15 yards going 60 degree again. That's going to be closer to 20, but yeah, 19. Bogey, that should bring us back to even, I think. 17th hole, grab some Gatorade quick. These par 3s are pretty nice. I've got 31 minutes on the camera right now, and I probably talked for 5 or 10 minutes beforehand, but these things you can really go through pretty quick versus like a 45-minute to an hour round of a full 18 or regulation 18. 133 up 134. All right, we're going back to it. Pitching wedge again. Yes, when in doubt, swing harder. Is that what they say? Oh no, don't pick it up. Oh no, that's what I get. Oh, we got the distance out of it, but that was such a bad shot. That was so thin. I just sculled that. All right, 15 yards. 14, well, another 2, so we need like 16. I do still feel like the Garmin, it doesn't love, I have a somewhat abnormally high ball flight. It seems to work out with me on course as long as it's not super windy where the wind eats it up. But I do feel like sometimes I get a little bit punished for, like that one again, I tried with the pitching wedge trying to flight it a little bit lower. That was a horrendous shot, but sometimes I feel like I get a little bit punished to where I play basically what I would on course. I feel like they would maybe go a little bit longer, but I think the R10, for whatever reason, with that higher launch, it reads more of a kind of pop-up that doesn't travel as far, but I guess that is what it is. Should be relatively close. That might be like 17, might be just a tad long. Oh, we got it there. All right, 18th and final hole here. Water on the right, so we got 162 down 161. Gonna go 9 iron. Caught the mat first, and it's gonna be left. Hopefully that catches the front left side of the green. Nope. All right. Not a very good swing there. We're in the rough, next to a tree. It looks like we're clear though. We got 25 yards. We'll add another 10%, so that's 2, call it 3 yards. So we need 28. Here we go with that, my basically 30-yard shot with my 56 degree. Let's see. Popped it up. That might be like 25, but it'll be on the green. Yep, just a little bit short, but all right. Not too bad for my first round back here in a while. So, from Reidy or Reidy Creek Golf Course in Escondido, California, courtesy again of Los Toy. Hopefully it's somewhere in the ballpark of how to say your name or username. Shout out to you for the request. We ended up with an even par 54. So, 1 over on the front, 1 under on the back, ended up with even par. Only 9 out of 18 greens in regulation, not great. Some of those 8 irons weren't great. The putts, 27 putts across 18 holes. If you guys remember from last season, and I guess not even last season, but because I played into the winter, but my other videos, basically no fairways in this one, but I try to be at least 50% on the fairways, at least 50% in the greens in regulation, and then at least 1.5 putts across 18 holes. So ideally, hopefully by this season, we're going to get closer to 75% on the fairways, 75% on the greens in regulation, and then bring those putts down to, obviously there's no putting, so it's a lot with chipping, but ideally get it down to as close to 1 putt per hole, basically putting everything inside that inner circle if we can, but that's the goal. So not too bad. Par 3 course, good little warm up here. Gonna grab some Gatorade, make sure that everything actually did record correctly on the mic, probably switch out the other one. It's been in the charging case, but decent round. So again, shout out to you for Los Lostoy for the request. Any of you out there that are watching this video, let me know in the comments. Give me the name of the course, the location. I'll double check it on Garmin within Home to Hero to see if I can in fact play it. There's a very, very high chance that if you've heard of it or you've played it in real life that I will be able to, but just toss the name and the location. Preferably also give me a little bit of background information if you can. So maybe you hit a hole-in-one here, maybe this is your home course, maybe it's where you played high school golf, whatever. I write all that stuff down, and then I can relay some of that information into the video, which will also give you a little bit better experience, but also other people watching, give them a little bit of background of why you picked the course and why I'm playing it. So basically that's what I have. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to play at least another 2 courses out here today, so you'll be seeing this same hat and same outfit again. But yeah, appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you at the next course.